Howe International Bridge project is a great example of how publicly owned transportation infrastructure can suit the requirements of the region, meeting transportation needs, but gross domestic product be achieved while also being environmentally and socially responsible. One does not have to be compromised to achieve the other. Throughout this project, we have demonstrated that engagement with the community leads to successful outcomes, that creating environmental commitments ensures that the environment in which we operate continues to grow and thrive, that through construction activities we can integrate sustainable measures that do not delay or somehow impact the overall construction approach or schedule, and that ultimately you can achieve your transportation needs by recognizing the value that the community can also achieve when this major infrastructure project is in their backyards.
Given where the project is located, it's located next to some very significant habitat features, and we want to do our best to make sure that the impacts of this project do not negatively impact the habitat adjacent to the project. We've done extensive habitat enhancements within Broadway Drain, which is one of the receiving areas of a lot of our stormwater and surface water runoff. We've done some habitat enhancements in the Detroit River, specifically to target northern madtoms. Migrating birds and bird nesting have been something that we've been trying to mitigate against. So we do have things in place such as a falconry program to try and deter species from nesting on the construction site.
Since starting construction in 2018, the Gordie Howe International Bridge project has contributed over $3 billion to Windsor and Detroit's gross domestic product. That will only continue as construction is completed over the next year and as we move into long-term operations.
The Community Benefits Plan consists of two components: a workforce development and participation strategy that focuses on ways to engage City of Detroit and Windsor-Essex residents as well as businesses, and a neighborhood infrastructure strategy that includes a $23 million fund divided equally between the two communities that focuses on neighborhood betterments and programming opportunities. In the neighborhood infrastructure strategy, the money has really been divided between infrastructure improvements, programming, and recognition of local history and culture. We've done things like a Delray Home Improvement Program, which provided funding for repairs to homes in the vicinity of the project area, as well as improvements and enhancements to some of the local parks in Windsor and Detroit.
This project also supports the Chas Mercado, a festive weekly produce market to provide access to fresh produce, community resources, and wellness activities for the community.
That issue of, wanting the kids to stay in school, do well, so they can, a lot of them come from some of the lower income families, but that's where they start. Doesn't mean that's where they need to end. Being able to provide that with the help of Gordie Howe Bridge certainly will pay dividends down the road.
Now, we wanted the Gordie Howe International Bridge, as well as the two connecting ports of entry, to be not just functional for the commercial and passenger users who will be traveling through them, but also aesthetically pleasing for those travelers, as well as people who are looking at the bridge from afar. We achieved that through our visual arts program. Examples of that include our pedestrian bridges that go over Interstate 75 in Michigan that have a specific design, which was a result of community consultation. And we've also included works of art, like a standalone Indigenous art piece, a sculpture that celebrates the region's contribution to the Underground Railroad, an integrated facade on one of our buildings that celebrates the Canadian landscape.
Well, as part of the Michigan Interchange, we're constructing 4 traffic bridges that span I-75, as well as 5 pedestrian bridges that will carry traffic to the new Gordie Howe Bridge, as well as provide access to the community and pedestrians. It's an important feature because it allows for unfettered access from highway to highway between our two great countries. The multi-purpose lanes that are going over the bridge right now, they'll carry both pedestrian and bicycle traffic from one side of the bridge to the other, and onto the surface streets here in Detroit and in Windsor.
What's important to us is to continue to learn from the community members, to learn from other experts in the field, and to ensure that we're integrating that learning into our continued construction that is ongoing for another year. As well, we'll be looking forward to the future. We do have environmental and community commitments that we have to continue to deliver and that we want to continue to deliver once we're in operations. Over the years, we've developed so many great lessons learned and best practices, and we're always interested in sharing that information with other projects so that they can learn from us and then we can continue to learn from them.